Ji. Welcome to the Zoom call. Ashok Chotwani, Tawfiq, Rajaratnam, and Veena. Welcome to the calls. Dr. Surinder, welcome. Srikant, Kale, Abhishek, and Palak. Welcome back, all of you, to the call. We also have Girish and Amma. Welcome. Prabhakar, Vageshan. Welcome to the call, my dear friends. Happy to have all of you back. And some of you who are not visible, but you're on the call. I see Kanhaya now. Kanhaya joining the call. Uh, welcome, and I hope you have a fulfilling hour on Zoom with us today. So today, what is the topic of today's discussion? The topic of today's discussion is the 4 paths of yoga. And why is it a part of our enlightenment Zoom calls? We are talking about the 4 paths of yoga because yoga is a key to enlightenment. If you want to be enlightened, you need yoga. And the first thing to talk about yoga is to understand the true meaning of yoga. In fact, I've written a book. It's called The True Meaning of Yoga. At the end of the presentation, I will share that book and you can WhatsApp me and take a copy of the book on WhatsApp. But we must understand what is true yoga before we use the term yoga or the state of yoga to attain enlightenment. Yoga is very important for enlightenment. If you are not a yogi, you cannot be enlightened. You've got to be a yogi because yoga itself means yuj. The word yoga means yuj, and yuj means union. The word yoga comes from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means union. Union means that the God inside us and the God that's everywhere must connect. Otherwise, we sink in this world of illusions. We sink in this world of material pleasures and possessions, and we lose our peace, our happiness. Therefore, if one wants enlightenment, one needs to be in yoga. And today we are going to go through the method how to be in yoga. There are 4 methods of being in yoga, and you have to understand what are these 4 paths where you can be united with the divine. Because people are looking for God in a temple and a church. We have to change our search because the divine is inside us. How do you connect to the divine inside? By disconnecting from the world. As long as you are connected to the world, you will suffer. You will lose your peace of mind. But yoga liberates us from all suffering. It even liberates us from the cycle of death and rebirth. And it unites us with God once and for all. So the benefit of yoga is not only liberation of suffering when we are alive, but also liberation of the suffering again and again and again. आदमी जो है वो बार बार जीता है, वो मरता है फिर जीता है, मरता है फिर जीता है, मरता है फिर जीता है. And they say in some of the Eastern religions, Jainism, Buddhism, Hinduism, कुत्ते जैसे जी सकते हैं हम. We can be born as a dog, as a pig. We can be born even as a tree. A tree would be there for thousands of years. We can be born. And there's no reason to disbelieve this because this is what it seems to be. Only God knows. But the point is this, that if we are able to attain enlightenment, we are liberated. If we are able to attain enlightenment, we are free from all misery and suffering. Our challenge is that. That is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal to realize we are the soul. We are not this body that suffers. Oh, idhar dard hai, udhar dard hai. COVID ho gaya. COVID tumhe nahi hua. COVID body ko hua. Correct? We are suffering. The mind causes fear. The ego is suffering, agonized with anger, hate, revenge, jealousy. I've just started a new book. I've started writing a new book. It's called A Simple Solution to World Peace. Why is there so much turmoil? Why is the world full of terror, hate, revenge, agony? Because simple thing in the book I cover, simple solution to world peace. A yogi bypasses this turmoil that the world suffers. But how do you live in yoga? What is the method? Today we are going to cover, in today's Zoom call, we are going to cover, and I'm happy to answer questions, how to live a life of yoga. That is the challenge. And first of all, we have to overcome the illusion. Some people think, what is yoga? No, this is not yoga. आप घर में क्या बोलते हैं? I'm going for yoga. Huh? I'm going for yoga class. You are not going for yoga class. You're going to the gym. You're going for exercise. So we have to understand the difference. What is the real meaning of yoga? You know, actually, there was a great saint. His name was Patanjali. Have you heard? Patanjali came out with what is called Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga. And what Patanjali said, if you want to be in yoga, you have to follow certain steps. He called it the 8 limbs of yoga. What are these 8 limbs of yoga? He called it Yama Niyama, Asana Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. He called it the 8 limbs. What is Yama? Yama is restraint. You don't do A, B, C, D. What is Niyama? Niyama is certain observations for purification. So you have Yama, Niyama. Then you have Asana, some exercises. You have Pranayama, some breathing techniques. These are only the first 4 steps. But you go beyond these 4 steps. You go to Pratyahara. Pratyahara in the Upanishads is called Upariti. You withdraw, like a tortoise withdraws into its shell when the enemy comes. So you have to learn to withdraw. So Pratyahara, Dharana, concentration, focus. Then Dhyana, meditation. Ultimately, you reach a state of Samadhi. Patanjali spoke about yoga when he talked of reaching that state of Samadhi, the state which some of you know it as Turiyam. You know the state of Turiyam? All of you who are seeking enlightenment or who are already enlightened, some of you are even far more realized than me. I have realized some truths. You may have realized more than me. And you are blessed because you are still seeking and learning. But we have to understand the true meaning of yoga. Yoga means union. Yoga means being united. I went to Rishikesh about 5 years back to search for good yoga institute. Have you been to Rishikesh? Every gully mein yoga institute hai. Not gully, ghar mein. And I went searching for a genuine yoga. But they were all teaching exercises. They were all teaching asana. Some of them were teaching pranayama. Nobody was teaching yoga. They don't know the meaning of yoga. And the foreigners, they come, and the foreigners come and pay in dollars. It's a good business in India. It's a very good business for Rishikesh because it's the yoga capital of the world. But people don't know the meaning of yoga. Yoga means living in samadhi. Yoga means living in chaturya, being conscious, being the witness, being the observer, being united, transcending the body-mind complex, going beyond the ego. That is yoga. But unfortunately, when we are going for doing exercise, what we say, Mama, I'm going for yoga. I will come after yoga class. Yoga class is not, this is just an exercise. This is only physical fitness class. So let us learn to correct it. My friends, how does one remain in yoga? How does one reach that state of samadhi? Today, we are going to talk about the 4 parts. Now I'm coming to the subject. What are the 4 parts to be united with God? See, there are only 2 things. You can be in yoga or you can be in bhoga. There are two things. Either you are living in yoga or you're living in bhoga. What is this yoga? Yoga is union. And we will come to bhoga. Bhoga is when you are united with the samsara. You are saying, ये मेरा घर है, ये मेरी बीवी है, ये मेरा बच्चा है. You are so attached to the world. You are so attached to the world that you are not able to be attached to God. If we are attached to the world, we are disconnected from God. If we are disconnected from the world, then we are attached to God. That is the way it is. And it is for us to be able to be in yoga. And today the method is to tell you the cycle, the yogic cycle as I call it. The yogic cycle has got 4 methods. You can be either in dhyana yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. There are 4 methods of yoga. The method that people normally try to do is dhyana yoga. Dhyana yoga is good because it's a good way to start your yoga. What is this dhyana yoga? It is the ability to be silent. But you can reach the state of yoga. You can reach the state of yoga by 4 ways. Somebody asked me, no, stop. I don't understand. Please explain to me. So I explained to them. You're climbing a building. Hitkariji, you're climbing a building. What is the way to climb a building? You can go by steps. 1. 2, you can go by elevator. 3, you can go by escalator. 4, you can go by helicopter. Helicopter, you sit in a helicopter and ask the helicopter to drop you on the top of the building. Wo bhi possible hai. But you will say, no, helicopter is not practical, but 3 is correct. We can go steps, elevator, escalator. Today, there are all 3 available methods, right? In yoga, there are 4 ways. There are 4 ways to be united with God. And these 4 ways are either through action, devotion, education, or meditation. They're easy to remember. The 4 methods are through action, education, meditation, or devotion. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. You can climb to the top of the yogic state of samadhi, of consciousness, of chaturya, whatever you're comfortable with the word, through 4 methods. It's up to you what method you use. But yoga is the way to self-realization and God realization. एक real, जो सच्चा योगी जो है, the real yogi, he lives in yoga. So what did I say in one of my songs? I say, योगी जो योग में सदा ही रहे, प्रभु के योग में रहे, संसार की माया में वो ना अटके, सदा योग में वो रहे, प्रभु की प्यास हो सदा, प्रभु से प्यार वो करे, योगी वो है जो माया से बच के रहे, प्रभु के योग में रहे. Yogi जो योग में सदा ही रहे. A yogi is one who's always in yoga, who's always united. But how? Through dhyana. Dhyana means through meditation. What is the meaning of meditation? Last week we spoke. Make the monkey into a monk. If you don't cut the tail of the monkey, Monkey, the monkey will be EY. EY means ever yelling. Yeah. Ever yearning. I want this, I want that. The monkey will not keep quiet. If you want to be in yoga, you have to make the monkey into a monk. If you want to make the monkey into a monk, you need meditation. Meditation is a method of MTR. What is reducing the mental thought rate? You have to reduce MTR. And meditation, like in Patanjali's 8-limb yoga, It goes beyond asana and pranayama. It's pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Withdrawal from the world, pratyahara. Dharana, concentration and focus. Dhyana, meditation. Samadhi. So even Patanjali, supposed to be a great saint, he also gave this method. But the first, where you are concerned in the Zoom call, the first way to be in yoga is silence, meditation. How much time? Ashok Chotwani, how much time you spend silence every day, Ashok? Huh? 10, 20 minutes. He's being honest. Some people come and say, Komal, are you still doing meditation, Komal? Huh? Komal was started doing 15 minutes every morning and 30 minutes, and then I told morning and evening. Try to disconnect from samsara and try to connect to the divine through silence. Dhyana yoga means just keep quiet, just switch off. It's not difficult, just switch off. Maybe early morning, maybe late night, just switch off. But don't switch off keeping jalebi in front of your table. Huh? Rekha will say, I switched off, but I'm keeping jalebi for my grandchildren. Okay, how can you keep jalebi for your grandchildren? Both are the problem. Grandchildren also problem, jalebi also the problem. So then you cannot be in dhyana yoga. Dhyana yoga means you have to be able to switch off. The next yoga is called karma yoga. People sometimes don't understand what is karma yoga. What is the difference between good karma and karma yoga? Good karma is you go to the street and you help an old man cross the street. Good karma, not karma yoga. Karma yoga is you are united with God in your action. What did Vivekananda say? Vivekananda said something which is very interesting, which we made another song. He said, Shiv Jnani Jan Seva. विवेकानंद ने ये कहा, दुखियों की सेवा जो करता वही शिव को पाता, एहसास जिसको होता शिव सब में वो पूजा करता, जो सेवा करता दीन दुखियों की वही पूजा करता. So what did Vivekananda say? He said, शिव ज्ञानी जन सेवा. शिव का ज्ञानी वो है जो जन का सेवा करता है. विवेकानंद ने ये कहा. So when you see God in somebody, how do I greet you? I say Shivoham. Means I don't see you as Chandresh and Shikha. I see you as Shiva. I see you all as Shiva. So that's how you have to see. I have to bow down to you. I bow down to you as you are Shiva, because you're not what you appear on the outside. Black or white, male or female, it hardly matters. You are Shiva. Inside you are divine. This is karma yoga. When you are doing karma as an instrument of God, when you do karma realizing you are just a flute, huh? You have to do karma saying, मैं एक बांसुरी प्रभु कुछ भी नहीं, संगीत है तेरा मैं कुछ भी नहीं. Karma yoga means telling God, I am a flute, you are the music. These hands are mine, but the doer is you. I do not do any action. I am free of action. This is karma yoga. Karma yoga is the ability to live as you live as an instrument, as a flute. Our dear Yogesh Kothari gave us this flute. If any of you want this flute, please collect from me. If any of you want a flute, reach out to me and collect. But we are just a flute. We are only a flute. Karma yoga is that. Real. What did Krishna tell Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita? Hey Arjun, karam karo, phal ki ichha mat karo. He teaches Arjun, कि जो भी करना है, surrender it to me. Whatever you do, he even says, whatever you eat, you surrender to me. That's another extreme. But the point is that we have to learn the meaning of karma yoga. You can be in yoga through dhyana yoga. You can be in yoga through karma yoga. You can be in yoga through bhakti yoga. You know the example of bhakti yoga? You know, right? Anybody knows? What is the example of bhakti yoga? Bhakti yoga example is Meera, Mirabai. Mirabai said, Mere to Giridhar Gopal, Duja na koi. Correct? For her, everything was bhakti. There are many people. There are so many people. There was one Surdas who removed his eyes. Correct? Because of bhakti. Guru Nanak, yes, also Guru Nanak. So there are the way to yoga, the first way to yoga, dhyana yoga. The second way to yoga, karma yoga. The third way to being in yoga, bhakti yoga. Having devotion, having bhakti. A very important way to be in yoga. And we are going to discuss these 4 methods of yoga. And the fourth way of yoga, very important, jnana yoga. Yoga of education and wisdom. You are busy reading scriptures. You're busy on a Zoom call. You're busy watching a video. You're busy listening to a talk by a saint of enlightenment. Therefore, you can use any method of yoga to be in union. But the challenge of your life is this. What is the challenge of your life? To remain in yoga, not to drop in bhoga. The moment you drop into bhoga, you are sinking in this world. What do people wanting bhoga? They are thinking of biryani. They are thinking of tandoori. They are thinking of chole bhature, pav bhaji. They are thinking of new silk sari. They are thinking of the latest jeans pant. They are thinking of the new mobile phone. They are thinking of the new laptop. They are thinking about where is the next holiday. All the time we are in bhoga. Either we can be in yoga or we can be in bhoga. Let me give you an example. Somebody wakes up in the morning. Huh? What do people? Ajitek, log उठते क्या करते पहले पहले उठ के आजकल क्या करते हैं? First thing, Ajitek, what do you do when you get up in the morning? Paisa. When you get up in the morning, you first look at your mobile phone. पहली बार, first हाथ mobile phone you take. Chandresh, yes or no? पहले देखते हैं कि मोबाइल फोन में कुछ किसका मैसेज है, क्या है, फेसबुक क्या है, यूट्यूब, न्यूज, यू ओपन यू वांट द न्यूज, टीवी चैनल, क्या हो रहा है दुनिया में, कौन मर गया, कोविड में कितने लोग मरे, व्हाट इज द लेटेस्ट. So we human beings, when we wake up in the morning, we must remain silent. Abhinav Panwar, even chanting afterwards. First, the best thing to do is be silent. When you wake up in the morning, start with dhyana. You can go to bhakti. Chanting is bhakti. It's good to have bhakti yoga. But what happens, the problem is, most of us sink into bhoga. As soon as we wake up in the morning, we listen to people's problems. All people's problems will come to us. Either we see what is the stock market. Some people, as soon as they get up, oh, Ajitek was saying stock market maybe. He was probably telling me stock market. Huh, Ajitek? So as soon as people get up in the morning, they get up, मेरा इतना this invest करो, ये invest करो, वो invest. All the time you're stressed out, you're worried. Where is the question of dhyana yoga? Where is the question of bhakti yoga? So the way to start the day is only 2. Ashok Chotwani, what are the 2 ways to start the day? Either through dhyana yoga or bhakti yoga. Only these 2. Then you get onto karma yoga. And not karma. You have to get into karma yoga. The challenge is to be in karma yoga. And whatever time is possible, you must spend the rest of the time in jnana yoga. Yoga builds our connection. There are so many stories that we are told about how there's a famous story about Lord King Janaka. King Janaka and Shuka. Have you heard the story? Sudeep, have you heard the story of Janaka and Shuka? So Shuka was the son of, I think, Vyasa. the famous Vyasa. So Vyasa could not deal with his son Shuka. So he told him to go to Janaka for training. So Janaka, to fool him, as soon as Shuka came, Janaka was lying down with a lot of girls and jewelry and food. So Shuka said, where my father has sent me with this monster, this Raja. Then Janaka was actually teasing him. Then Janaka told him, okay, I have made the whole city for your pleasure. The whole city is decorated for you. Lot of drama, eating, food, all those things. So go enjoy. Only condition you carry a vessel of oil on your head, huh? Which is full of oil. And if one drop of the oil drops, my soldiers who are with you will cut off your head. So he said, the soldier will cut off your head. So ye Shukha, Raja tha, Lord Janaka was the king. So he had to listen. So he started walking with the attention on the pot, right? Ek bhi drop na gire. He came back. After he came back quickly, Lord Raja Janak asked him, "Kaisa tha? Share kitna tha? Beautiful decoration." He said, "Janak, मैंने कुछ भी नहीं देखा. मेरा ध्यान तो इस मटके पे था कि यहाँ पे एक, because you told me the soldiers will cut off my head." So this is an example they give of yoga. How Shuka was so much in yoga with that matka, correct? So we human beings, we have to learn how to always be in the yogic cycle. The yogic cycle means move from dhyana yoga to bhakti yoga, move to karma yoga, move to jnana yoga, come back to bhakti yoga, come back to dhyana yoga. Try your best not to be in bhoga. Why, Rekha? Why am I asking you not to be in bhoga? You know that? Because the moment you are in bhoga, you are suffering. The moment you think you are consuming the pleasures of this world, actually you are not consuming the Mercedes Benz. The Mercedes Benz is consuming you. You think you're driving the BMW. You are not driving the BMW. The BMW is driving you. Because it troubles you so much. If somebody scratches your BMW, you can't sleep in the night. Because you spent so many $1 million on the new BMW. You're so miserable. But the man who doesn't have the BMW is quiet. He doesn't have BMW, but he's happy. Therefore, we have to learn to be in the yogic cycle. The yogic cycle means moving from dhyana, karma, bhakti, jnana. Moving from meditation, devotion, action, education. I've rhymed it. I've tried to make it rhyming so you don't forget. You know, somebody asked me, don't tell me all this very complicated. What is the simple way of yoga? Kanaya, you know the simple way of yoga, Kanaya? The simple way is to be like a SIM card. How the SIM card is connected to the satellite. Good network. But if you have some bakwas SIM card like you were in Srinagar, you have some bakwas SIM card in Srinagar, it will not connect. If you have prepaid SIM card in Srinagar, does not work. Vodafone in Srinagar does not work. Correct? Only Airtel postpaid, like that. That is the way that SIM card works. So the point is, we have to find, like a SIM card is always connected. We have to be connected to the divine. We have to have a good network. Sometimes I'm talking to you all Zoom call. What happens? Once in a way, when I'm in some other place, the Wi-Fi gets cut. The call gets cut. They're looking, where is air? Where is air? Air is gone. Unfortunately, the network was bad network. Friends, the moment we have a bad yogic network, we drop into bhoga. And bhoga is very dangerous. I have experienced all the bhogas in this life. I have seen all the pleasures. I am honestly telling you, there is not a single pleasure I have not enjoyed in my life. But I have left all these pleasures. You know why I have left these pleasures? Because bhoga cannot give true happiness. Bhoga can only give temporary, momentary happiness. So before I close the session and before I answer all your questions, remember we have the next 20, 30 minutes to answer questions. And I want you to understand the importance of these 4 paths of yoga. You can use any path. You can use more karma yoga. You can use less bhakti yoga. Doesn't matter. You can be only having jnana yoga. You can have only dhyana yoga. You decide. What yoga you want, you decide. But being in yoga is very, very important. That is important because if you are not in yoga, like I said, then you will sink in bhoga. And sinking in bhoga, sinking in the material world, sinking in the sensual world is a recipe for disaster. I have been in that world for 25 years. I was running money, 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 more money, more money, more money. I made a lot of money. Till one day I realized we earn and earn and earn for others to burn what we earn. We earn, others burn. We die. But when we die, others should cry for the kind of life we lived. We have to learn to give, not just to keep on hoarding and hoarding and hoarding. And one day, finally, if you don't give, it will be snatched away. Whatever you earn, others will burn. Is it right? Rajaratnam, can you take money and go with you? Up to heaven, can you take any money and go? Nobody can take anything and go. We have to realize this truth. My friends, therefore, the way to live and the way to enlightenment is to be able to control the 5 horses. Our body has got 5 horses. They are the 5 senses. Correct? These 5 senses are controlled by the mind. Lord Krishna called it the 5 horse chariot. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says the 5 horses are connected to the reins. The reins is the mind. This is what Lord Krishna says. We should be the charioteer. We have to be the sarthi. We have to be the one who controls the mind, who controls the senses. If we don't control the mind and we don't control the senses, then our chariot of our life will go wild. We will be lost. We will go here and there and we will be lost. When are we going to wake up? And when are we going to be in yoga? My guru was Dada J.P. Vaswani. My guru always taught us that we must remain in yoga. My guru himself was a yogi. My guru was an epitome of humility and silence. My guru would always spend time in meditation. If you looked at him, there was a glow on his face. Why? Because he was a yogi. He was a real yogi. And this is what we have to learn. We have to learn from the masters. We have to learn how to get enlightenment. And enlightenment comes when we are in that state of yoga. We must learn the benefits of yoga. What are the benefits of yoga? You know that? The benefit of yoga is it gives you peace. It gives you happiness. Yoga connects you with God. The minute it connects you with God, it eliminates fear and worry. You become fearless. The fear of death disappears. It overcomes the ignorance. It transcends the ego. Yoga eliminates hate, anger, revenge, jealousy. So how do you reach that state of yoga? By remaining in that state of either dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga. You choose whether you want to be in meditation or education, in devotion or in selfless action. The choice is yours. But these are the 4 parts. I told you can climb the building either through steps, elevator, escalator or helicopter. I gave a joke to you, right? Another way is climbing is helicopter. But the point is that we have to try to live a life of yoga. You know what happens to a yogi? A yogi lives in the consciousness of truth, in Ananda. I've told you previously, what is this called? It's called Sat Chit Anand. How do you live in the state of Sat Chit Anand? Example is taught to us in the Upanishads. They talk of the girls who are in the village. You know the girls who are in the village, how they walk. Hey, chang chang jing jing chang jing 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 jing. The ladies are going on talking in the village, 5, 6, 7 girls. But on the head they have a matka of water. but the matka doesn't drop, the water doesn't drop. So yogi is like this, these girls of the village. Although he's in the samsar, he's in the world, he is ever united with God. That is the way to live. A way to be ever united with God. Although we are in the samsar, we are not supposed to leave this world. We are not supposed to give up this world. Some people think if you have to be a yogi, you have to give up this world. You have to give up all eating food. You have to do tapasya. This is completely wrong. Completely wrong, because you do not have to give up the world. People who teach us this are teaching us wrong things. You can live in a state of Sat Chit Anand, being a yogi, living in the world, but not of the world. You can live in the world, but don't be of the world. Don't be consumed by pleasures. Somebody asked me the question, what is the difference between a bhogi eating biryani and a yogi? Have I told you this before? Ashok Nichani. What is the difference between a bhogi eating biryani and a yogi? Both are eating the same biryani. The bhogi is consumed by the biryani. He's so mad about the biryani. But the yogi enjoys the biryani, but he's not attached. Tomorrow, if you say there is no biryani, there is dosa, yogi is happy. But the biryani wala, the bhogi, he gets angry. Biryani kahan gaya? Where's my biryani? That is the difference between a bhogi and a yogi. The yogi enjoys the masala dosa. But the bhogi, if there is no dosa, he will scream. If there is no chutney, he will shout. If the sambar is not okay, he will curse. So the yogi lives in a state of Sat Chit Anand. So therefore, next thing, how does the yogi live? You know, the yogi lives in divine acceptance and surrender. What do you accept? Whatever comes your way. And what do you surrender? To the future. Whatever will be, will be. If you are in yoga, you learn to live with acceptance and with surrender. But what is the key? What is the key to get into yoga and to follow these four paths? Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. Don't forget these four parts. Today's session is for you to remember. Karma yoga, action. Bhakti yoga, devotion. Dhyana yoga, meditation. Jnana yoga, education. They are rhyming, not difficult. How do you get into this state? Through realizing I am not this body and mind. I am the divine soul. When you realize this, you become in yoga. Then you realize what? Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. What's the meaning? Satyam Shivam. One just there, Mariam. Satyam Shivam Sundaram means the truth is God is beautiful. Right? There will be all kinds of people in this world. There will be all kinds of monsters in this world. Don't worry about it. You live as a yogi. You live with Satyam Shivam Sundaram. You live united with the divine. That is the challenge. And don't forget the four methods, the four ways. And what is my recommended way when you get up in the morning? Start with silence. Start with dhyana. Then if you want, play some music, some bhakti, some bhajan, some kirtan, some silent chanting. So dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga. Then you get into karma yoga. Karma yoga not for your selfish needs. God has given you enough. What are you still going on saying, I want more, I want more, I want more? What will you do? So when you finish your need, stop your greed. We human beings, the problem is we don't stop at our need because greed takes over. And then we have excuses. What are the excuses? I am doing it for good cause. No. We can never do for good cause unless we do a karma yoga. Karma yoga means surrendering our life to God. That is the way to live. Dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, and keep some time for jnana yoga. Jnana means education, wisdom. You must spend time. For example, some people come on the Zoom call every Friday without fail. At least 20, 30 of you, you are coming on the Zoom call, 40, 50 of you every week without fail. What is that? It's called Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means you have an appointment. I used to go and meet my guru every month. I used to spend 2 days with my guru every month. Sometime I would go to Hyderabad, sometime I would go to Switzerland, but I would try to meet my guru every month. That is part of our Jnana Yoga. My guru was a treasure of wisdom. How else can we get so much wisdom? It is that we need a realized master. We need somebody to take us from gu to ru. We need a guru. Without a guru, we will be in darkness. Therefore, we must try to remain in this cycle, the 4 ways of the yogic cycle, because yoga equals enlightenment. If you want enlightenment, you need yoga. You must live a life of dhyana, karma, bhakti, jnana. If you do not live this life, my friends, then you will fail. To summarize, I'm summarizing the point. Yoga is very important for enlightenment. If you are not a yogi, it's very dangerous because you can become a bhogi. The path of yoga are 4, like you have north, south, east, west. What are the 4 parts of yoga? Dhyana yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. What are these? Yoga of meditation, yoga of action, yoga of devotion, yoga of education. You try to remain in yoga all the time. And if you truly want enlightenment, if you want to be enlightened, live like a yogi. Live like a yogi. And if you live like a yogi, you will have a life of bliss and joy. Remember this, the richest man is not the happiest man. The richest man is not the happiest man. The happiest man is the richest man. We have to learn this. So now we are going to answer questions. And if you have any questions, remember next week, the subject is faith has magic. Next week's Zoom call is on faith, F-A-I-T-H. Faith has magic. And if you want the book, the administrator is putting the book up, the image of the book, The True Meaning of Yoga. If you have not read the book, please read the book. As I answer the questions, I am happy to share with you my thoughts about how we have to learn to live a life that is of a yogi. So we are going to get on to question and answers now. And don't forget to be back next week on the subject of faith has magic. So friends, here are the questions. Are we ready to go? Question 1 from Bharti Ramesh on Facebook. How to get disconnect from the world? Bharti Ramesh. Bharti, first we must not be attached to laddu and jalebi and doodh peda. Because if all the time we are attached to these things and samosa, samosa and kachori is most dangerous. What happens when you all the time you want samosa and kachori? Chandresh, kya hota hai? Fir uske baad kya hota hai? Then you are caught because you are not actually eating samosa and kachori. The kachori is eating you. You become a kachori. So there was a man, Bharti Ramesh, I hope you are there on Facebook. There was a man who told his spiritual master, see, so sad, that man is stuck to the tree. That man is stuck to the tree and is dangling from there. So then the master told, hello, don't say sad for that man, because that man is not stuck to the tree. The man is hugging the tree. He's stuck, he is attached to the tree because he's clinging on to the tree. If he doesn't want to cling to the tree, what he should do? Athar, what he should do, Athar? He should just leave the tree. He should leave the tree and then he will be free. He's clinging on to the tree. And then they're saying, so sad, he's attached to the tree. So Bharti Ramesh, how do we disconnect? We can disconnect when we let go. If you want to be free, let go of the tree. Remember the story of the man clinging onto the tree. Will you remember? Bharti Ramesh, if you want to disconnect with the world, connect with God. What is the way to disconnect with the world? By connecting to God. Because the moment you are connected to God, then you will be disconnected from the world. That is the method. Question number 2 is from Prabhakar. How education will help you interact with God? Education is not, Prabhakar, education is not BCom, MCom. Education is Jnana Yoga, my dear Prabhakar. You must be educated in Upanishads. You must be educated in scriptures. Jnana Yoga is not education. What did Shankaracharya tell that one man? A very beautiful passage, Prabhakar, you should go and read if you want. You know what he says? Chandrash, aapne padha hai? Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam padha hai? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Muramatei. Huh? In this he says, "Hey fool." Chinmayananda ji is beautiful. In this you can hear Chinmayananda. What he says? "Oh, you fool. Huh? You fool. How much more are you going to be educated? Stop your education. How many more PhDs and MPhils you are going to get? Stop, put your PhD in the dustbin. You realize God. You realize God. God is, PhD is important only up to a point. After getting PhD, what you must do? You must go on to another PhD, the philosophy of the divine. You must go to that PhD. You must learn to become one with God. So Prabhakar, this is the education we are talking about. Rekha Parvani. Children demand from us. They say you have responsibility towards it. How do we make them understand? So dear Rekha, children demand from you because you permit them to demand. You teach the children to be independent. A small child who is drinking milk, you don't tell that child leave them on the street. No. If a child is 4 years old, 6 years old, 8 years, 10 years, you teach them. Huh? But after the 10th birthday, you tell them now you're a big boy. After 10th birthday, you say now you learn to do your everything on your own. So Rekha, you don't have to. A 10-year-old boy doesn't have to behave like a 4-year-old boy. A 10-year-old boy now is a big boy. He can do things independently. That's why he's no more 7, 8, 9. Now double figure, 10 means 2 digits. Correct? So now the children also have to learn to grow. So Rekha, your problem is you're attached to the children. Because you are attached to the children, you feel that the children will be disappointed. So don't let go. Learn to be detached. You know your problem, right? You know the problem. You have to learn to be detached. So the next question you will ask me here, how to be detached? They both are the same. When you let go, you become detached. When you are detached, you let go. Okay? Both are the same. Don't get caught in this equation. My favorite, your favorite is Bhakti Yoga. So Rekha, you can be in Bhakti Yoga, but the question is this, Rekha. Can you be Bhakti Yoga from morning to night? You cannot be. Therefore, learn to go from Bhakti Yoga to Dhyana Yoga. Spend some time in silence. Then learn to do Karma Yoga. Do some work. It may be Seva. It may be cooking food for the poor people. Do some Jnana Yoga. Attend Zoom call. Read books. Try to learn. It's very important to go into the yogic cycle. All the 4 are very important. We should not give up anyone. Nishu Mathur, people go on pilgrimages. Yes, cross rocky terrains, climb thousands of steps, reach a temple. Is an expression to love for love of God. Is a symbolic expression of the difficulties we face on enlightenment. It's a matter of focus, of commitment. Or perhaps, see, Nishu, there are 2 ways of doing bhakti. One is bhakti and one is bhakti yoga. So Ashok Nichani, when he goes to Rameshwaram and does Dubki in 22 wells, that is bhakti. You ask Nishu Mathur, you ask Ashok, every month he will go to some pilgrimage. He will go to Tirupati Balaji, then he will go to Rameshwar, then he will go to Sringeri. Very good, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Ashok, nothing wrong. But that is not bhakti yoga. That is only bhakti. So Nishu Mathur, we have to evolve from bhakti to bhakti yoga. When we are climbing temples, when we are climbing big steps and going to Mecca, Medina, and Jerusalem and Kashi, Sudeep also went to Kashi, Kailasa, Manas Sarovar. These are all bhakti. But bhakti yoga means you can just sit and you can just say, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivoham, Shivoham, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivoham, Shivoham. This simple chant is not bhakti, it is bhakti yoga. It can be in your own house. You don't have to go to any fancy temple because the temple of God is within you. So I hope you got the answer, Nishu. You are saying, is it a sign, expression of love for God? My dear Nishu Mathur, God doesn't want to look at our expressions. God wants to see our genuine love for Him. If we genuinely love God, we will seek God. We will yearn for God. The triple yearning, like the miser has for gold, the lover has for his beloved, the child has for its mother, whom it has lost. We need this triple yearning. We don't need to go to Tirth Sthan. We don't need to climb 100 steps. We don't need to do tapasya. Some of the Jain Munis, they keep on doing tapasya, going round and round, sleeping in the temple floor, making circles, breaking their head. Is good. Hitkari ji, all that is required, Hitkari ji. ये चाहिए वो सभी करना तपस्या नो जैन मुनि क्या करते पता है जैन मुनि एक एक बाल खींचते हैं एक एक बाल खींचते हैं अपने आप को तड़पाते हैं दैट इज नॉट द राइट वे बुद्धा व्हाट डिड ही कॉल बुद्धा सेड स्टॉप इट बुद्धा सेड फॉलो द मिडिल पाथ follow what he called the middle path. Ruchika Singh, next question. Ruchika Singh's question is, several people practice meditation, but why is yoga not possible for all of them? So Ruchika Singh, many people follow meditation, but yoga is not possible because you have to climb. You have to evolve. Ruchika, meditation doesn't mean sitting in a position and your monkey mind is wandering here and there. That is not meditation. That is monkeytation. Monkeytation means what? You're sitting in meditation pose, but the monkey is in command. So don't do monkeytation. Do meditation. Meditation means you have to take command of the monkey mind. So Ruchika, yoga will be attained when you practice meditation, but you go beyond. What did Patanjali say? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. You have to cross the state of Pratyahara, Uparati, Dharana, concentration, Dhyana, meditation, until you reach a state of Samadhi. So what is yoga? Yoga is a state of divine consciousness. Then only, Ruchika, you can reach that state. You need the state of divine consciousness. Next question is from Dr. Surinder Goyal. Bhakti yoga is the simplest and swiftest way to bhakti. It involves activities. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasavanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakham. So all this, our dear Dr. Surinder Goyal has given in the chat. You all can copy. I am not so good, Surinder, in all these things. You are the master. So yes, some people believe bhakti mein hai shakti, bhakti se hogi mukti. They say bhakti se hogi mukti. So bhakti is the way. But my dear friends, like I told Rekha, can you have bhakti yoga from morning to night? So I have prescribed a method of 4 ways of being in yoga. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga. Try to live a life which is a combination of these 4 yogas. So this is possible to live. You don't have to go and become a sannyasi in the forest. Huh? Some people think सब कुछ छोड़ के ऑफिस छोड़ के सन्यासी बनना है. नहीं, सन्यासी नहीं बनना है, योगी बनो. Hitkari ji, you can sit in your office and be a yogi. Right or wrong? Chandresh, we don't have to give up the world to become a yogi. We can live with bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, karma yoga, and we can be ever united with the divine. Next question is from Sanjeev. You talking about 4 yoga, but Maya is always push for bhoga. So which is the best in these 4 yoga? Can you be more powerful than Maya? My dear Sanjeev, if you want to overcome Maya, you cannot use only one yoga. If you use one yoga, Maya will kill you. Maya will overcome you. Because the power of one yoga limits you. For example, you cannot be in meditation for 24 hours. Lakshmi, can you sit in meditation for 24 hours? Can you sit in one place doing meditation? Impossible. Sudeep Bhargava, can you keep on reading the book for 24 hours? Can you keep on doing Jnana Yoga for 24 hours? Impossible. How is it possible? So, dear Sanjeev, you need to move from Dhyana Yoga to Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga to Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga. Please learn to move from one to the other. That is the way to defeat Maya and to defeat Bhoga. Navjot Singh, Madharu, last week, remember, we said he's not Siddhu. Navjot Singh, remember, he was there last week. What are the traits of a realized soul? My dear Navjot Singh, a realized soul lives in a state of Sat Chit Ananda. So a realized soul is not worried about anything. A realized soul lives in what is known as Arpanam, Samarpanam. You know what the realized soul does? He says, Samarpan karna, जीवन जो ये जिसने दिया वही संभालेंगे, जो भी होता उसके हाथों में है, क्यों है डरना, उनकी मर्जी है, छोड़ दे जीवन अपना, जीवन उनके हाथों में सौंप दे, जो होगा उसकी मर्जी है, जो होता है वो स्वीकार कर ले. So this Navjot, this is how the realized soul lives. The realized soul lives in surrender. The realized soul lives in acceptance. Kabul, 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 Kabul. Whatever happens, he says, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. A realized soul. But then, the problem is that you can't make out a realized soul from the outside. So Navjot Singh, there was one nice, just before we end the call, a little lighter vein. There was a realized soul. Chandrasham ne suna ye, realized soul went with his friend to the park. So जब भी कुछ होता था, what he used to say, the realized soul, शुक्र है, शुक्र है, शुक्र है, शुक्र है. हाँ? Hitkari, you remember the story? वो पार्क में जाता है, शुक्र है, शुक्र है, शुक्र है. So this friend was going, this is for the sake of Navjot Singh. He's asking, what is the mark of a realized soul? So when he's going to the park, Navjot Singh, please pay attention. Then as he's standing under the tree, the pigeon drops its, you know what? The pigeon drops on the head. So this man, he takes a tissue and he cleans like this. He cleans and he says, Shukr hai, Shukr hai, Shukr hai. So then his friend said, you are such a hypocrite, man. The pigeon has shat on your head and you're saying, Shukr hai, Shukr hai, Shukr hai. What is the Shukr hai? Pigeon has dropped shit on your head. You know what he said? चंद्रेश क्या बोलता है वो? शुक्र है पिजिन उड़ सकता है, अगर हाथी उड़ता तो क्या होता? अगर हाथी उड़ता, शितकारी जी, अगर हाथी उड़ता तो क्या होगा? So the realized soul is living in that mode. The realized soul is living in that state of gratitude, in the state of living joyously. Amitash Shukla, why Jnana Yoga is not easier than Bhakti Yoga? Jnana Yoga is little difficult to understand because the people who have written Jnana have complicated it too much. If you get a good book to read, I have read some good books like Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, some good books which are easy to understand, but even those, some people reading Sanskrit and translations, they go round and round like this. So Avitash, Jnana Yoga is little complicated because people are not able to interpret it. But if you get a simple book, that's why all my books, I like to write my books very simple English. Even a child should be able to understand. Bhakti Yoga is easy, no? Amitash, Bhakti Yoga, what you have to do? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is it difficult? Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Huh? You can sing. Bhakti is very easy. So that's the reason. Nishu, can any of these four parts lead to yoga? Can bhakti yoga itself lead to union with God? It can, but it's very difficult. I already explained you need a combination of these four yogas. To be a yogi, I'm giving you a straight answer. You need all four yogas. Then I can guarantee you can be a yogi. Because if you are following my Zoom call, I have to give you the method. The blunt answer, one yoga, not enough. You need all the four yogas. That is the subject of today's Zoom call. All four yogas. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. Yoga of action, meditation, devotion, education. All four. Abhinav, Guru, for past few days, I am into chanting Ram early morning without alarm. I wake up at 3. How should I see this? Although I will happy later chanting Bhavana followed by my journal. So, Abhinav Panwar, excellent. If you're chanting 1 hour in the morning, that is Bhakti Yoga. Get into silence. Get into Dhyana Yoga. Wait to listen to God's voice. Then whatever God tells you, that becomes your Karma Yoga. And spend some time in Jnana Yoga. So I'm very happy, Abhinav Panwar. It's a good beginning. It's an inspiration for other people also to get up in the morning and to repeat the name of your God. Whatever be your God, repeat the name of your God. It can be any name. It can be any name that you believe in, any God. But if you keep on repeating the name of God, then you have Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. You are on the way to liberation, enlightenment. Rajan, Karma and Karma Yoga difference not clear. It's very clear, Rajan. I hope Rajan is on the call. Rajan, when you are doing Karma, Rajan, you are going and giving bananas to a poor man. It means you are doing Karma as Mr. Rajan. You are doing Karma. You are doing good Karma because you want the phala. You want the reward of the good Karma. Okay, nothing wrong. Anything wrong? Nothing wrong. But Karma Yoga means I am not Rajan doing. I am a manifestation of God. I am the Rajan Atma. When you do as Rajan Atma, then it is Karma Yoga. When you are doing it as a manifest, suppose you are going to serve the poor people, but you see Shiva in them and you bow down to them as they are Shiva. That is Karma Yoga. Suppose you go, I am Rajan, I brought idli for you. See, I brought idli for you. That is karma. Good karma, nothing wrong. It is good karma, but it is not Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means you are doing the karma in yoga. You are doing in union with God. Okay, you got it, Rajan? Thank you. So that was Rajan's question. Sanjay Das, how do we gain more wisdom? Sanjay Das, how do you collect more water from the river? By taking more buckets and filling the water. How do you gain more wisdom? By reading more, reading the right books, by reading, following the right people, by not getting confused. Somebody told me, what do you mean? I said, you take Krishna Sarma, you fill one bucket of water, Krishna Sarma, and you have a hole in the bucket. By the time you go home, how much water is there in the bucket? Pura gone. So if you are following one right master and there's one wrong master giving you the wrong things, then what happens? The right master takes you forward, the wrong master pulls you back. Then what is the use? So Sanjay Das, you gain more wisdom through study, through Jnana Yoga, by understanding the right people to follow, the right scripture to read. That is the way for you to have more wisdom. Niharika, how to practice Karma Yoga? What qualities a Karma Yogi must have? A Karma Yogi says, I am nothing. What my Guru used to tell me, what my Guru, Dada J.P. Vaswani, you know what he used to tell me all the time? Remember one thing, we are nothing. We are nothing. We are zero. I am not. Alone thou art. These are the words of my master. He must have told 100 times, 1,000 times. Huh? तुम ही सब कुछ प्रभु, मैं कुछ नहीं. So this is the words we have to follow. A karma, how to practice Karma Yoga? by living as an instrument of God, by following God's will for our life. That is the way. The quality of a karma yogi, not expecting any result of action. If you are expecting the result, it's karma. If you are not having any expectation of result, it's karma yogi. Vipul Raj, can we get detached from some person with whom we were very attached? Of course, you are attached because you are clinging on. My dear Vipul Raj, I gave the example. If you want to be free, let go of the tree. Remember this example, Vipul Raj. Huh? If you want to be free, let go of the tree. So you are saying, can we be detached? Think about it, Vipul. Be honest. You are not attached. You are clinging on to that person. If you want to leave that person, can you leave today? You cannot leave. You can leave. So you are clinging. And because you are clinging, like I was also clinging many years, I was miserable. The more we cling on to people and possessions, we become miserable. What we must do, Vipul Raj? We must learn to let go. We must learn to be free, mukti. That is the way. We have just 2 or 3 more questions before we close. Lakshmi, what's the difference between meditation and yoga? Meditation is the way to yoga. Meditation is what you must do to reach that state of yoga. So, meditation is the road. Yoga is the destination. When you do meditation, when there is silence, then you attain that state of consciousness of or yoga. How do you reach that state of yoga? Union. You reach that state of yoga through meditation. And that's what exactly today's call is, Lakshmi. How do you reach the state of yoga? Through meditation, action, education, and devotion. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. Then Avinash, I invest time in listening to spiritual videos, motivational videos. Sometimes I feel it's more listening than taking action. I have to stop all this and just focus on action. Not sure if I'm correct then. And think to stop all spiritual activities, just focus on productive work. See, Avinash Sawant, it depends upon what state of life you are in. In life, it is not so easy to be liberated. But yes, you may be listening to spiritual videos. But if you listen to videos and take no action, it is of no use. So you need to take action. How do you take action? That's exactly what we are talking today. A combination. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. Avinash, please pay attention to today's call. I have repeated many times. Live a life of yoga. If you live a life of yoga, you can be united with God. You can live having dhyana, karma, bhakti, jnana, all in the state of yoga. So this is what you need, Avinash. You need to be in yoga. Please get there. Kannaya, how to convince ourselves to follow essential path. How to concentrate to make relax the monkey mind. Sometimes it becomes possible for a while, but it doesn't go long. Oh, Kannaya, that is very true. The monkey will be quiet for 5 minutes. But as soon as you finish eating the banana, then you give a banana, monkey will after finish eating banana, then what happens? Then again the monkey will jump. Then, so Kanhaya, again same answer, become busy with karma yoga. Become busy with bhakti yoga. Become busy with jnana yoga. If you are busy, then the monkey mind will be transcended. You will go beyond the mind and ego, which is called me. So we have got the last question. I think 1 or 2 questions. 1 or 2 people are asking, but Kumar Swami says, what is dual and non-dual? So Kumar Swami, I hope it's the last question, or we are having 1 more question. Kumar Swami says, what is dual and what is non-dual? Dual means me and you. Kumar Swami, when I think I am Bhakta and you are God. So they asked Hanuman this question. They asked Hanuman, what is the difference between duality and non-duality? So he told, as long as Lord Rama, you are Lord Rama and I am Hanuman, there is duality. But as long as you are also Atma, I am also Atma, we are the same. There is non-duality. So you understand, Kumar Swami, you understand the example? Hanuman said, this is a story. Hanuman said, जब पूछा गया फर्क क्या है, बोला प्रभु, राम को कहता है प्रभु आप प्रभु है, मैं दास हूं, ड्युअलिटी. लेकिन अगर मुझे पता चले कि आप भी आत्मा है, मैं भी आत्मा हूं, हम दोनों परमात्मा है, नॉन ड्युअलिटी, हम एक हो गए. You got the point, Kumar Swami? I'm giving you an example to remember. Last question for today, Ajitek Dadda. How can we perform our work as Karma Yogi with example? When you seek nothing, Ajitek, when you do your work without any seeking, मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए प्रभु, जो भी मैं करता हूं मैं आपके चरणों में अर्पण करता हूं. Today, Ajitek, example, I am doing this Zoom call. What do I seek from this Zoom call? Do I seek anything from you? Have I asked you for anything? Every week I come and do this Zoom call as an effort, what I call as a karma yoga. I surrender this to the divine. What do I say? How many other people are wanting to be in bhakti yoga? How many other people are interested in jnana yoga? They will come. We are interested in doing this as an instrument of God. Do I think, Ajitek, that I am speaking? No, I am not speaking. I am just like a loudspeaker. Who is speaking? Somebody else is speaking. This is my voice, blah, blah, blah. My mouth is opening. But do you think I'm speaking? I am not speaking. Somebody else is speaking. This is an example of karma yoga, where you think that you are an instrument of God. When you surrender your actions and let God take charge. My friends, time has come to an end. Next week, we are going to be talking on Faith Has Magic. If you want a book on yoga, please write to me. I want to thank you before the clock ticks, Ashok and Hema. Thank you, Kumar Swami. Thank you for being on this call, Hitkari ji, Veena, Chandresh, Girish, and Amma. Srikant, Vipul, Mr. Budrani, Sanjay Das, thank you for being on the call. Rajaratnam, Nitesh, Komal, Rekha, Krishna Sarma, Lakshmi, Sara, Ajitek, Rajan, Pratima, Sachin, Sudeep, Dr. Surinder Goyal, Balachandran, Gurudat, Kannaya. Thank you for being on this call. Abhinav Panwar, Ashok Chotwani, Alice, Janvi, and Kishan. And the rest of you I can't see. Thank you very much for being on this call. God bless you. May you be successful in your journey towards enlightenment. The divine grace be upon you. Keep on, keep on, keep on with your karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, action, meditation, devotion, education. Keep on, keep on, keep on. One day you will realize God in the temple of your heart. May God bless you.